Last week, 10 people who'd never met moved into a house as complete strangers. By the end of the summer, they and you will know everything about each other. It's an all-new episode of Big Brother tonight on CBS.
Can I tell you that they have a camera in the bathroom even on that show?
Nah, don't tell me that. That's more than I want to know. Watching from Jim Engelbright's Jelly Belly cam as the truck in front gets a little loose. Bobby Hamilton, Greg Biffle, our leaders. Joe Ruttman, Randy Tolsma, Kurt Busch, last week's winner in Milwaukee, the first of 3 mile track Saturdays on CBS. We conclude next Saturday at Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
All very similar racetracks as far as banking is concerned. Now, Nazareth is a different design racetrack. It has a design of its own.
It doesn't know it's an oval now.
No.
Oh, hello, Joe Ruttman. I'm back here, said Randy Tolsma. Is he giving him just a little shot in the pants there?
Tailgate party.
You got it.
How would you react to that, buddy, that kind of thing, when suddenly your head just bounces back into the headrest like that?
Well, you know, they didn't mean to do it, but you're both getting down in there under braking, and apparently Tolsma got in there a little bit hot and realized right at the last moment that he was gaining up. If you really wanted to be like, I can remember a driver named Tiny Lund that would hit you 5 times in a row going into the corner, just to let you know I'm a little quicker, and you're not going to block me for very long.
Man, when you raced, the bumpers were a lot thicker, a lot heavier, and a lot stronger.
Oh, yeah.
But was the action the same?
Similar. You could get by with more back in those days because we didn't have all these cameras on you when you were out there. Plus, you know, many of the races were at night back in those days, and the tracks were not very well lit, and you could even do things on the backstretch that the NASCAR officials couldn't see.
Now, they called him Gentleman Ned, but I have seen Gentleman Ned have to use that bumper, and not many times, but when he had to go, he had to go.
And those were chrome bumpers back then. They had to be stock bumpers.
Stock bumpers, yes.
Made a lot of noise, too.
The current Busch North driver who told me, I'll bump you once to get your attention, twice to move you over, and if I have to bump you a 3rd time, you're gone. He spends a little time in the penalty box.
Oh, I guess.
That's all it does. Halfway next time by, Bobby Hamilton, the Winston Cup driver who owns Joe Ruttman's full-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series team, is the race leader. There's the halfway sign. He and Kurt Busch, and rather the 50 truck right behind is Busch's teammate Greg Biffle. In 2nd, Joe Ruttman is 3rd, Randy Tolsma, and Busch, last week's winner, is 5th. Steve Grissom has been climbing up the order steadily. He's in the 6th spot. Rick Crawford 7th. Mike Wallace, the 86 of Scott Riggs. Marty Houston fills out the top 10.
You know, the one thing that Bobby Hamilton's answered right now, he knows when he gets his fresh tires, he does not have to worry about stopping anymore. He'll keep that track position because the truck's very, very fast on worn tires. So right now, all he's got to do is hope for caution so he can change the tires and get that last little bit of fuel. If he can go that far, he's going to be in pretty good shape.
Just put a lap on the 20th place truck, Steve Prescott, truck 03.
Yeah, Prescott's an interesting story, Ned. He has raced in the New England Pro Truck Series of spec trucks with one specification and no change of parts by the teams, and he's the champion of that series, and now comes to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Well, Hamilton was able to get a little bit of distance between he and Biffle when they passed Prescott.
Biffle is 2nd, Ruttman 3rd, Tolsma 4th, and last week's winner Kurt Busch is the 5th place truck. Here he is, the 99 in white and black, 7.5 seconds behind the leader, and Steve Grissom has caught him.
Yeah, Steve Grissom makes a move going into turn 3.
Grissom's riding a rocket these last 50 laps.
His truck seems to be working well down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where you needed to be working on this racetrack. And Steve is a good, smooth race driver, knows how to take care of the tires on any vehicle that he drives. He had some good runs here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series a few years ago. He finished 4th, I believe, in both races in 1 year in the Winston Cup Series.
And he's also a past Busch Grand National champion, so he's been here. He knows how to run the racetrack, and some of his best runs have been right here.
Yep, and Grissom will be driving Kyle Petty's car in tomorrow's Winston Cup race here at New Hampshire. This young fella, Kurt Busch, came off of the Northwest-Southwest tour of NASCAR and has now moved up to the Truck Series, and he says right now he has become a much improved driver. We asked him why.
It was matter of just taming the beast, and that being the truck. I mean, it's my friend. I go and talk with it every day. We play with it. We set it up. We polish it. We take care of it. And now it's starting to take care of me. I abused it early. Just needed to let races come to me. We're in the Southwest Series or late model racing. You just go out there and be the fastest car and you win. It's a little bit different type of racing.
Learns quickly.
He's got a lot of talent.
Early part of the season, he really fought Steve Grissom for making that pass there a few moments ago, but he's learned some patience and not take chances.
Well, Ned, you remember in Daytona, I mean, he left there. I don't think anybody's speaking to him except the immediate family, because he hit everything but the lottery down there. And when he left there, I think everybody just said, okay, you need to think about it a little bit, because that was a little too aggressive to do what you have to do in the Truck Series. And he has turned into be a fine, fine driver.
That he has. Mike Wallace, you watch currently the 7th place truck. He's about a second behind Kurt Busch and just ahead of Rick Crawford by half a second. And going to the garage area is Tom Carey, the Orange, Massachusetts driver from the Busch North Series, trying to make a break into the Craftsman Truck Series. And so his day is over. 107 laps are complete. Bobby Hamilton leads Greg Biffle and Joe Ruttman. Coverage from New Hampshire International Speedway continues after this message and a word from your local station. Click on Sports or enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Caution on the Speedway at Spin and Turn 4 is coming up next to Showtime Championship Boxing. Galata versus Norris, Tua versus Sullivan. That is next on CBS Sports. Coy Gibbs is down there stuck in some of that nice New Hampshire topsoil inside of Turn 4.
Yeah, and he's not moving at all. It's just spinning the wheels back and forth, back and forth.
That's too bad he had a good run going here today. Also, see if we can see what happens. Well, it's already loose.
Coy Gibbs now slide. Now watch it come around, and when it does, it just buries itself right here.
Might have been another truck involved. Now, there was one truck way up on the high side of the racetrack there that just went quickly out of picture. It's a good break for Kenny Schrader, who was just 5 seconds from going a lap down to Bobby Hamilton. And this will be the 6th, check that, 5th caution of the day.
I was just looking at the 20 truck there, Coy Gibbs. He's got some damage to the left front corner there. I don't know whether that's from right now or just something that happened earlier, but it does have damage.
And Andy Houston made up the lap that he lost with his green flag pit stop, we're told. So that puts Andy back on the lead lap.
Well, after they passed him, he stayed pretty well with them.
And it is pit stop time. Bobby Hamilton is in. Greg Biffle, Joe Ruttman, Randy Tolsma, Kurt Busch, Mike Wallace, Rick Crawford. Most of the leaders are pitting. Dick?
This was an incredibly lucky break for Bobby Hamilton. He was almost out of fuel, and he was going to have to pit under the green in just 4 laps when that caution flag came out. They put 2 tires in the right side. They're going to put a little bit more light in it. They just did that. A little bit of air pressure change and a little bit of gas, and off he goes to Ralph.
Well, it was the same lucky break for Randy Tolsma. He needed right side tires badly. He came in and got them, took fuel, and is back underway.
There are 86 laps to go, and unless there are a lot of caution laps, it's going to be very hard to go that distance on 1 tank of fuel.
From the information that we received before the race, 75 to 80 laps, yes, it will be stretching it, but it wouldn't be surprised if some of them don't try to make it if we don't have any caution.
So at 114 laps, Greg Biffle atop the leaderboard. And we'll be back as CBS Sports coverage of the New Hampshire 200 continues after this.